All right, ladies and gentlemen, time to get ready for 2019 season. IHSA kicking off with the biggest storylines. If you don't know me, my name is Coach Big Pete, aka Peter Lineweber of DeepDishFootball.com. If you like my work, feel free to leave a tip via PayPal link on the bottom. Please follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well. Just a quick reminder too, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. Deep Dish Football Live on Facebook Live on the Deep Dish Football Facebook page. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete talking about the IHSA scores. So good that you got people copying me. That's how good it is. And that's a little bit of a joke. So let's go into the storylines for 2019. I'm just going to do some national stuff. I'm going to forget some teams. I'm going to talk about you later on through some tweets tonight, this Sunday. It's currently August 25th, 2019, just a quick reminder. But let's go over some quick storylines. One big thing that I see is district football. Everyone's talking about it. The vote's still going out. The vote is going to be happening a little bit later for the planned district football. That's going to be a huge thing. A lot of complaints. A lot of people seeing that this might be sort of a good idea. It's down the middle with a little bit, I'll say it's a little bit favoring no towards it from what I've seen and talked to. But again, cherry picking cupcake teams and teams literally going out of state to Canada to play a football game or to schedule a game against a Canadian team. Something has to be done about that. But we will see what happens. Next, and I consider this a huge storyline, IHSA football has decided to go the route with Quincy Broadcasting. They're going to be also in the Chicagoland area, if you don't know, the U for IHSA state title games, which I think is a smart move. There's a lot of complaints, especially from Central Southern Illinois, especially they couldn't even find the game. And you know what? It's a little bit of a BS if you got Central and Southern Illinois and they can't find a game and you have signed a contract with one broadcasting company only. And this is a chance to literally open it up to the whole state. And football is a sport that reaches all economic levels and all that other stuff. And this is a huge thing. It's a smart idea. Send it back to regular television. Let everyone watch it. I love the idea. I think it's going to be a great idea. And I think it's also going to help the broadcasting because some of the broadcasting was a little bit iffy. McInerney, I wish it comes back. They need to feature Kruger more. Johnson from Comcast, he'd be great from Comcast 100. He does a wonderful job. And I talked about Kruger. I talked about McInerney. You had Harbarkish, who's an NFL guy, talking about these high school kids like they were NFL players. Didn't make any sense. But I'm really happy to see it. It reaches all levels. I'm happy about them fighting, especially in the Chicagoland area, going back to the U and everything else. They used to be on PBS, if I'm not mistaken. I'm probably wrong. You can type in the comment below if I'm wrong or right. I think it was like PBS. I know they used to be on Channel 52, My 50, whatever it was called before. So, after that, and since we're done with that, let's get into the teams, individual teams. The big dog teams, East St. Louis. Oh my. You got a talented group of players, literally, that can kill you in the air, on the dirt, and take the field away from a quarterback. Antonio Johnson being one of them. He's one of the best players in the country at safety. The kid's straight up nasty. He's an absolute beast. And then you have Tyler Making at quarterback, definitely kid. They have literally a roster that's got about 20, 22 kids of D1 talent, maybe even more. East St. Louis. They got a nice few group of transfers. East St. Louis looks good. Let's talk about Nazareth Academy. Nazareth Academy, you have J.J. McCarthy, the wonderful quarterback, one of the top in the country, class of 2021. You have Morris, the two Morrises. You have another Morris that's transferred from Indiana. He's another national wide receiver. Look out for Ryan Keeler, rush end, unbelievable talent. Keep a very close eye on Nazareth, the Nazareth middle linebacker, small, undersized kid, but he is a key for that defense. This kid's special. Next, talking about Homer Flossmoor, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about Homer Flossmoor. They're hungry. They're hungry for a title. I really think a lot of people are doubting a little bit about Homer Flossmoor, but I think Homer Flossmoor is going to have a great season. I really like that team. I like their quarterback, like their offensive line and defensive line. Bryant and Ford, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I didn't get that wrong. Good linebackers too. McKinney, one of the top players I consider. But keep an eye out for Homer Flossmoor. Now, Lincoln Way East. Who can beat Lincoln Way East? Homer Flossmoor has to. Bolingbrook, which is another great team. Bolingbrook is unbelievable. But Lincoln Way East, you got A.J. Henning. You got a new quarterback, but again, talented group of wide receivers. Pierre and another talented player for Lincoln Way East. They also got a good stack of linebackers, good offensive line, good defensive line. They got everything, a good group of tight ends. Zollner's got it. And Lincoln Way East looks good again this year. And they are going to build up a great season. I think what's key is between them, Bolingbrook, and Homer Flossmoor. Another team to look out for that's going to be a big shocker is Bradley Bourbonnais. Keep an eye out for Bradley Bourbonnais. Coach Cole has a team there. A very young, talented quarterback, a very good line with Bird coming in. Keep an eye out for Bradley Bourbonnais. Now, we move that apart. We're going to Phillips High School. Phillips High School. Everyone's not. I swear the chatter of Phillips has gone down every month now. Keep an eye out for Phillips. I love Phillips. I like their offense. I like their defense. I like Thrower at quarterback that they have. Solid defensive backs as well. They look good. Chicago Public Schools this year is unbelievable this year. It's sort of a renaissance, as I said, and I talked about it last year. Morgan Park, C.J. James, he's doing a wonderful job with that team. They got a talented group of players. Do not sleep on Morgan Park. Curry High School, Ray goes up to college, coaching at the college levels. Curry is good. They got Tristan Wright from St. Rita. Definitely another team to keep an eye out for in Curry. Simeon looks great. Simeon stacked with talent. And they're ready for some revenge from what happened last season in Nazareth. They're ready to go get it. Simple as that. They're ready to go get it. Next, and we talk about this. We're talking to the 4A level. We talk about Immaculate Conception, ICCP, as some people say. They bring in a transfer from Danny Cronin from Fenwick, a top state quarterback, class of 2020, Danny Cronin. Good offensive line. Kyle Franklin at running back, defensive backs coach, who I consider one of the best in the state, maybe even in the Midwest. Matt Bone, the secondary coach, who's a huge key for that IC team. And I do say it, and I really do mean it. Coach Kraft, a young coach who's a huge coach as well. Can they get another state title win notch? 4A. I want to see IC versus Rochester. As Derek Leonard works his magic, and Derek Leonard, he's polishing that trophy case up to get another trophy inside there. And he's hungry for a title. And if the scariest thing in the world is when you give Derek Leonard some free time. And it's the scariest thing. You never, ever want to give Derek Leonard some free time. And he's got a little more time. He took a little bit of a rest. He lost to Bishop Mack last season, if I'm not mistaken. He got a little more time. You give him an extra 2 or 3 weeks, watch out. You got to watch out, definitely, for Derek Leonard. Ken Leonard, for me, for Sacred Heart Griffin. Sacred Heart Griffin looks great. They got a couple transfers. One big transfer tight end out of Mara Forsyth. A good quarterback, a young quarterback as well. Sweetland, definitely another kid to keep an eye out for. Good offensive line. Anderson works his magic as offensive line coach. Definitely another team to keep an eye for. Glenwood Chatham, as they get the big transfer from Mara Forsyth, Ian Brunner. Again, their quarterback from last season's back this season. He's a hell of a player. Division I talent level. Glenwood Chatham looks good this season. That's another team to keep an eye out for as well. Now, back up north. We're going to 1A. Lena Winslow. Lena Winslow looks unbelievable. Isaiah Bruce, talented athlete. Great offensive line. Big boy offensive line. They got 2 Big Ten players in Lena Winslow for a Class 1A team. That speaks so much to that team. So definitely keep an eye out for Lena Winslow when they go to 1A. And when you see Forston, they're hungry ready for another title. Keep an eye out for Dakota, but definitely those are some big winning teams. And then we get into a little bit more, a little bit west, if I'm not mistaken, Freeport High School. They could be a little bit of a surprise too. And we go into Harlem High School, the Harlem Huskies. James Cooper Jr., he's flinging it. They have a great group of wide receivers. Keep an eye out for the Harlem Huskies. Talented group, a bunch. We go a little bit south, or no, a little bit north, a little bit to the east. We go to Antioch. We got the Greek Rifle. And we got his brother Dino in Antioch. Also got to go to the secondary as well. Antioch, they're hungry for state title. Definitely a team to keep an eye out for. We talk about Lyle Academy. They won a state title last year. I don't know why people are sleeping on them. Hello, wake up. They have a great offensive line. I like the kid Krutz. He is a talented bunch. He's a talented kid. Good, solid offensive line for Loyola. Good quarterback Imperion. Good secondary too, and good stack of linebackers. A couple of young linebackers. Keep an eye out for Liam. We still stay north. Lake Zurich, new coach Ron Plants, former head coach of Elmhurst College, one of the best hires. Solid building of a team. Brian Sanborn, good quarterback as well for Lake Zurich. Definitely a team that you want to keep an eye out for. But the big dog team, their team that's ready, the team that wants to win it all, Coach McNulty and the Warren Township Blue Devils, they are ready, they are stacked, and they want to win. Will Singleton, they have a great depth at quarterback as well. You got to keep an eye on Christian Phillips, if I'm not mistaken, as well for Warren Township. Another team to keep an eye out for Stevenson. Coach Horf is gone. New coach Becker, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to build. He's going to be a team not to sleep on as well for Stevenson. And we go down a little bit south. We talk about Hinsdale Central. New coach Griffin as Hartman goes on to Lyons Township. Great hire by Hinsdale Central. Hinsdale Central, you got both the Gosses. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce it. I probably did. Both the Gosses. Good quarterback in Hoff. Brendan Contreras. Keep an eye out for Hinsdale Central, and I'll give you another sleeper team. Lyons Township, Coach Hartman. He's building something there. It's a great hire for Lyons Township. They're getting a great field general in Hartman. I consider him one of the top coaches in the state. Lyons Township got a great deal. Now, we talk about Lyons Township. If we're talking about the West Suburban Conference, we got to talk about one team and one team only. And it's Glenbard West. Coach Hetlett and his team, they look good. They look like a great team. And again, Glenbard West football is that tough physical football. We're going to smash the ball up your face, and we're going to pass it, and we're going to kill you in the air as well. Glenbard West looks good too. That's another team you definitely have to keep an eye out as well for the hitters. Going out a little bit more west, Naperville Central. They've had a wonderful day. Two big transfers. Kid from Bloom, Keon. Kid from Marist, Jaden Thompson. Sam Jackson, who's one of the best athletes in the country. Quarterback as well. He can play whatever spot. He can do everything. He can throw the ball. He can catch the ball. He can defend the ball. Hell, he can do everything. He's that good. Naperville Central, Flamera too from Naperville North, another transfer. Naperville Central looks unbelievable. They are a talented team. Don't forget also about Riley Sutta. They are a huge team. Naperville Central. They are a beast of a team. They're definitely state title contenders. Nequa Valley, they're hungry. Gronkowski, a quarterback. Larkin as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is his senior year. Nequa Valley looks good. Waubonsie Valley, another tough team too. Again, it's going to be interesting to see how their passing game is. Ethan Nelson's a great quarterback. Miles Petaway, good offensive line. And again, we'll see what happens. Good running back too, little running back. He does the job. Class, character, and everything else. Going out to a little bit more west, Oswego, talented group of bunch. Whoever starts at quarterback, keep an eye out for Oswego. Oswego East, another good team. Manuka, they got a bunch of starters like Manuka, like Glenbard West, like Mount Carmel football. Simple as that. Smash mouth football, no doubt about it. And when you have smash mouth football and you have that type of football and you have a great amount of seniors coming back, You got to keep an eye out for the Manuga Indians. Talking about Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel's back in a great way. Jalen Grant, Coach Lynch, he's doing a wonderful job. Mount Carmel, you have to look at. St. Rita, another team, talented group of young athletes. You got to look at St. Rita as well. After that, you look at Fenwick. Cobb, young quarterback. Fenwick has got a team going. Meadows doing a wonderful job with Fenwick. They have young talent, a young breath of fresh air into the Fenwick Friar football team. You definitely have to keep an eye out for Fenwick football, no doubt about it. Then we get a little bit in the back into Chicago. A little bit of a sleeper that I totally forgot about too is Taft High School. Taft is doing a wonderful job. It's a good program on the rise. Definitely a school you have to keep an eye out for. Let's go a little bit out west. Batavia football. As I say numerous times about Batavia football is Batavia football. Dennis Pyron does a wonderful job with that football team. They have a great roster coming back. Lutzwig at tight end, he's coming back. He'll be something special for Batavia. Good linebackers, good athletes, two up front. Batavia looks good in that conference, in the Duquesne Conference. St. Charles North is another team. I was impressed with St. Charles North. Just came back Friday for the scrimmage. Really impressed with them. Kyler Brown at quarterback. Keep an eye out for Little Nubin, the little brother, Nubin. Keep an eye out for him in St. Charles North. Definitely a team to keep an eye out for. St. Charles East as well. Barrett at offensive lineman. Solid group. Quarterback. Forgetting the quarterback's name. He's a hell of a player too. Let's go a little bit east. Downers Grove North. Drew Castens at quarterback. You got to keep an eye out for that team as well. I'm trying to think of any more teams. Richards looks great. Richards has a solid offensive line, solid group of athletes back. A big void will be Sebastian Castro because he's going to the University of Iowa. But again, you can't count out Richards and that team. Now, going to that, we go into the Interstate 8. Coal City, do not sleep on Coal City. Great team. Herscher, do not sleep on Herscher. That's another good team. Coal City for me, you got Crawford. They got a linebacker. They have a great quarterback too. Coal City is a top team, state title contender team. Keep an eye out for that. Moore's football they had a tough year last year. Moore's football is going to be back this year. That is a guarantee. I guarantee you Moore's football is going to be back. They're going to have a good year. Kanelin's got an unbelievable passing attack. You got to love what Kanelin's doing and what Coach Ryan's doing with Kanelin's going to have a great year. They are a state title contender too. Sycamore, good team as well. A good secondary too for Sycamore. Another team. Sterling football. I love Sterling football. They joined the big Western Big Six. Another team to keep an eye out for as well. I like a little bit of Quincy too. That's another team I'm very impressed with. I'll give you another playoff contender that a lot of people aren't talking about. Quincy Notre Dame. Coach Nick Cornell has sprinkled his magic on that team. They're a team to believe in too. Keep an eye out for Quincy Notre Dame. Going to 1A a little bit, Ottawa Marquette. I think Ottawa Marquette's going to have a great year this year. Keep an eye out for Ottawa Marquette. Hawafia, that's another team to keep an eye out for as well. I really like it. Bryan, another team in 3A. I really like the team. Tyler Ellsbury at offensive line. Keep an eye out for Bryan as well. Going a little bit, thinking about more. Champaign Central, another good team as well. And I totally forgot, one team. Illinois Valley Central, hopefully that's correct. IVC the Ghost. They are unbelievable. This could be a big year for IVC. IVC is going to have a great year this year. This is going to be a big season for them. Definitely a big season for them. Very impressed with them, basically. Chicago Christian, they have a good chance. Boylis is coming back at quarterback. Keep an eye out for Chicago Christian, definitely a team. Wheaton St. Francis, I totally forgot about Wheaton St. Francis. The kink in the wheel of IC. That is going to be a tough fought game. Keep an eye out for Wheaton St. Francis. They have a talented crew. a very talented crew. We in Warrenville South, talented group. They graduated some talent, but a team definitely to keep an eye out for as well. Lake Park, it'll be a very interesting year. We'll see what happens. Like I said, those first 2 games for Lake Park are the most important first 2 games for them. That's really important for them. We in Academy, another team to also look out for in that lower conference bracket. For me, another team that I totally forgot about, Yorkville High School, beat them at quarterback. McGuire, coach. It's a very interesting team. Plainfield East does the big thing and hires Coach Coons from Plano. Plainfield East, they have a great chance at a shot at the playoffs this year, definitely, big time. Plainfield North, I don't know why people aren't talking more about Plainfield North. I like Plainfield North. That team, another team that could do some damage, new coach. But Marcellus Moore, I think he can do anything and everything. I'm going to after Plainfield North. Another team that I really think that deserves more talking about too. No one's really talking about Chicago Hope in the lower conference. I know there's a little bit questions in that, a little couple transfers, but keep an eye out for Chicago Hope High School as well. Aurora Christian, another team I really like. Aurora Christian, I love. Aurora Christian is one of the best teams in that lower bracket. Ethan Hampton at quarterback. Talented group of wide receivers you got to keep an eye out for. Aurora Christian. Now we go down south. For me, Edwardsville. Big year for Edwardsville. Good group of players. Kirkpatrick, Johnson at running back. I'm forgetting Penza too. They're just stacked with talent. Keep an eye out for Edwardsville. O'Fallon High School is going to have a surprise year. I really like O'Fallon. I like the quarterback, Ty Michael. O'Fallon, you got to keep an eye out for O'Fallon High School. Althoff Catholic's going to have a great year this year. They had an off year last year. Keep an eye out for Althoff Catholic as they do. Joliet Catholic, I forgot about Joliet Catholic. Joliet Catholic, how can you forget about them? They won the state title last year. I don't know why people were sleeping on them last year. It's Joliet Catholic football. Anyone that does that's stupid. Joliet Catholic football has a great chance of repeating this year. I like their talent. I like their young talent even better. Definitely a team that you got to keep an eye out for in Joliet Catholic. Talking about after we leave Joliet Catholic, I totally forgot Marist. Trent, they lose Jaden Thompson, but again, Marist, Hayden Mikeskill, quarterback, you definitely have to keep an eye out for. Do not sleep on him. He'll be huge for Marist. They also got Dontrell Jackson, and I'm forgetting another team. I'm forgetting another player too that Marist has got. They got a good offensive line. They have 2 good offensive linemen. Coogan, and there's another one you got to keep an eye out for. Brother Rice. This is one of my bold picks. Brother Rice, this is their year. I really believe it. They get Denver Warren. Brother Rice is going to have a good year this year. Colin Smith at quarterback. Coach Backey's got this team ready. Tough loss last year. This year is Brother Rice's year. Providence Catholic is another sleeper team for me. I really Providence Catholic, Renfro, offensive line, center. Good quarterback, good wide receivers, good run stopping linebackers too for Providence Catholic. Do not sleep on Providence Catholic. If you do, you're dumb. Thornton Fractional North, another team to keep a close eye out for. Wolf Williams at quarterback. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Rolling Meadows, I really like Rolling Meadows. I love their defense. DeVito at linebacker, Pedezra at defensive line. They got a great safety. Keep an eye out for that. Evanston football is going to have a great year. Their challenge is going to be Maine South, of course. Evanston football. I love Evanston football. I love that offensive line. That defensive line's a bunch of go-getters. Their secondary is strong, especially with Elijah Smith coming from Waubonsie Valley. Evanston's a team. Maine Township, you got the big Maine South. You got the big man, Skronsky at offensive tackle. Kilberg at defensive back. Maine South looks good this year too. Maine West, they got an easy path to the playoffs. Danny Kendigan at quarterback. Dolphin at defensive back. Again, another team to keep an eye out for. Lincoln Way West is a school that no one's really talking about. They should be talking about. Lincoln Way West, I really like too. Offensive line, I really like quarterback. They got a great wide receiver too. What more can you say? Lincoln Way Central, don't ever sleep on Lincoln Way Central. That's another team. Andrew, a talented bunch of players. They got a great Bickle at running back. They also got DB, Dehan, also a little bit of an athlete. He's another kid to keep an eye out for as well. And Andrew. Monticello's got a talented group coming back with 3A. They could be challenging, especially with Wilmington. Wilmington's another team. Wilmington's always Wilmington, tough-nosed team. That's going to be another team to keep an eye out for as well. Let's see. And we get into a little bit of Black Diamond Conference. I really like the Black Diamond Conference. I think that this is their year. Fairfield, El Dorado, two teams that you got to keep an eye out for. I hope it's Black Diamond's year. I'm cheering them on because it's time for the Black Diamond to get something, and they deserve a trip to DeKalb. And it'll be interesting in the 1A and 2A thing because definitely there's going to be an NUIC team there. There's no doubt about it. Merrill Forsyth, they lose a lot of players to transfers and that, but it's Merrill Forsyth, and they're going to be ready, and they have a great road ahead where they can get to 6-3, 7-2. Don't ever doubt Merrill Forsyth. So definitely a team that you got to keep an eye out for as well. Williamsville, I really like. Definitely a team that not a lot of people are talking about, but definitely should be a team that more people need to talk about in that team. DGS, they're going to have a little bit. It's going to be an interesting year. They can get to 5-4, 6-3. They got a good shot to getting to the playoffs as well. And that Hinsdale South looks great. Great quarterback, underrated quarterback in Marquise Garrett. He is underrated, athletic, great arm, great throw off the run, great at reading defenses. Hinsdale South's got a great year that they can probably get to the semifinals. That's how good Hinsdale South looks, and like Hinsdale Central looks too. That's another team that I talked about before that looks fantastic, as I talked about before. Wheaton North, it's going to be a little bit of a tough year for Wheaton North. That's just my personal feeling. Meta Valley, they're building towards the future. Keep an eye out for Meta Valley and Coach Parpet. That's the team. We'll talk about Lyle. We'll talk about another Parpet. Definitely a team to keep an eye out for too. In Lyle, Aiden Lombardo at quarterback is definitely a kid to keep an eye out for as well. Just thinking about any more. I'm going to probably miss a couple teams. Carbondale, another team to keep an eye out for. Linebacker Will Bobley. Boldly is another player as well to keep an eye out for in that roster. Marshall in that Little Illini conference. Lance Rees, big-time recruit from the state of Illinois, class of 2021. Keep an eye out for him. He's definitely a player to look out for as well. Talking about headlines, I see another headline, and a lot of people don't want to talk about is transfers. I think that's going to be a little bit of more of an object of conversation when we get to the IHSA meetings in the late fall and the winter and all other stuff. I think that's going to be a huge conversation piece. Basically, it's my personal feelings. Niles Notre Dame, they have an excellent quarterback, young quarterback, class of 2021 if I'm not mistaken. He'll be a huge playmaker for Niles Notre Dame. St. Patrick, they got a great shot at the playoffs in that. Definitely crew offensive lineman, defensive lineman, linebacker as well, stud linebacker senior. He's definitely a kid to keep an eye out for St. Patrick High School. Niles North, I have a sort of a surprise team as well. And Peoria looks great. Peoria looks great this year. They're back. Normal High School looks unbelievably talented. Not Normal West, huge. Carson Camp. Definitely name you want to keep an eye out for. Zach Maricott, Cole Hernandez. On the normal side, Brock Griffin at defensive lineman. They got a top D1 guard as well. It's going to be a very interesting thing in that conference, in that Big 12 conference between Normal West, and Peoria High School as well. I got Peoria Rich Woods as a surprise team. Definitely can keep an eye out for as well. Springfield High School, Rashad Rochelle, quarterback, one of the top quarterbacks in the country for the class of 2022. Keep an eye out for him from Springfield High School. Springfield East High School, their kid quarterback Ross comes in. Can they get to the 5-4 mark? Can they get to that magical mark and get the playoffs? It's going to be interesting. But do not sleep on Springfield Southeast High School. It's a team to keep an eye out for as well. Gibson City, young group of athletes coming in. Keep an eye out for Gibson City. It'd be very interesting. Granite City, Freddie Edwards. We'll see how Granite City goes after the first 3 weeks. That's another team you want to keep afar from, but you want to just keep a close eye out for in Granite City. Mantino, they got a good running back in Davey Wooster, and they got a little bit of an athletic line. Definitely team to keep an eye out for. Piatone I have as one of my surprise teams. Bradley Bourbonnais, I talked about Bradley Bourbonnais. Kankakee could have a good season this season. Top hires, Plano. Plano looks great this year. They hired the Aurora University coach. He comes in, former head coach. He's going to work his wonders with Plano. He's going to continue that success that Kuntz continued with Coach Green and yada, yada, yada in that Plano history. But again, solid. It's going to be a solid year for Plano as always, as we talked about numerous times. Dare Mackinac, they got enough talent that I could see them back in the playoffs as well. St. Joseph Ogden, definitely a team, another team that's going to have a great year. Definitely a team to keep an eye out for as well in St. Joseph Ogden. Talked about El Talif, talked about O'Fallon. I probably forgot a bunch of teams. I talked about Evanston, talked about Loyola Academy. Hersey, I forgot about Hersey. Hersey's another team I really like. Coach Pardon's doing a wonderful job with Hersey. Hersey looks good this year. Hersey versus Rolling Meadows, that's going to be a great game. Definitely a great game. Marion Central Catholic, I have as a surprise team this year. Marion Catholic, I have as a surprise team. St. Lawrence is going to have a good season too. Bennett Academy, if Colin Gillespie fires it out and has a great first 3 games, keep an eye out for Bennett Academy. Moline High School, another great school. They lose Bailey Blue to Bet in Iowa. They've returned 2 great running backs, an athletic line, and pretty good secondary as well. You got to keep an eye out for Moline. Definitely. Moline looks good. And Morrissey comes back he went to Stevenson for a couple months and he came back to Moline. Definitely a team to keep an eye out for. Bartlett. I forgot about Bartlett. Bartlett's going to have a great season this season. Bartlett looks good. They got a chance of being undefeated, of going 9-0. Definitely a team to keep an eye out for. I'll give you another surprise team, and I'm a homer. But there's a good shot that my Westmont Sentinels got a good shot of getting to maybe 4-5, 5-4 again. Big mark for Coach Wolf. Definitely a team to keep a very, very solid eye out for is the Westmont Sentinels, depending on what happens after those first 3 weeks, as we talked about before. Aquin Cat, I totally forgot about NUIC team that I wanted to talk about. Aquin Catholic. Aquin Catholic looks good. They're building something. It's there after it's definitely keep an eye out for Aquin Catholic this year. They're gonna be surprising, and they're gonna have a good season this season in Aquin Catholic, no doubt about it. Besides that, I think that all the teams that I hopefully I did not forget to mention. I think I talked about all of them. Pretty good. I'm trying to hopefully I didn't forget any teams. Talked about the Lincoln Ways. Talked about the Oswego's. Talked about all that. But yeah. Oh, I forgot West Aurora. West Aurora looks good. Matt Johnson, Wayne Tamaru at quarterback. West Aurora, you gotta keep an eye out for them. Coach Emer is doing a wonderful job with West Aurora. I like what I saw from their scrimmage. It was 2 weeks ago. West Aurora, them going into the Southwest Suburban Prairie Conference, whatever it's called. It's a great deal for them. And Matt Johnson, Tamaru are going to be key. Good linebackers and good DBs as well. I'll give you. Totally forgot Carmel Catholic. Carmel Catholic up in Mundelein. Keep an eye out for Carmel Catholic. That coaching staff's got that team playing good football, and you're going to see more of it too. Barrington, Vernon Hills. It's great to see Coach B back at Vernon Hills. Barrington, Lucas Van Ness. Barrington has got a great shot this year too. Yeah, that's about it. I probably forgot a bunch of stuff. I do apologize, but that is the quick storylines for 2019. I think the big thing too, another storyline that we don't talk about as well is the attendance. That's going to be tough this year. Attendance is going to be really tough because in my mind, there's been some games, some big school games where half the bleachers are filled or a fourth of the bleachers are filled with big quality games. I know there's been some problems in the Southwest Suburban Conference, from the Southwest Suburban Conference. I know it's had some fan issues with fans showing up to games. I think you're going to see more of that too, and it's a sign of the times, age of technology, and everything else. But we will see what happens with that as well. And again, as I said before, concussions still will be a big part of the storyline this year. Also, I think too, it's just going to be all district football talk this year. If it passes, if it doesn't pass, yada yada yada. That's going to be a huge thing too. If you like my work, feel free to leave a tip via PayPal. I'll put the link on the bottom. Follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook.com. My email again, coachbigpete@gmail.com. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete every Saturday at 9 a.m. on the Deep Dish Football Facebook page. Check it out. Deep Dish Football Live Wednesday and Thursday, 8 p.m. on the Facebook page for Deep Dish Football Live. Thank you so much. Good luck to everyone. No injuries. Again, my email is coachbigpete@gmail.com. I probably forgot some schools, and I'll be talking about them more tonight and tomorrow and this whole week. Thank you so much, and have a lovely day.